Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Ben. Everyone enjoyed our series on the political leanings of various Star Wars factions and states. Now we're going to take a look at that other space franchise. You know, the one with cuddly toys, androids,
Congratulations, Data. It's a girl.
Lycra, self-indulgent holodeck storylines, and of course, Earl Grey tea.
Tea, Earl Grey hot. Tea, Earl Grey hot. Would you like some tea? No.
But apart from all that, the whole storyline and world built around Starfleet and the United Federation of Planets is pretty developed. So in this episode, we are going to ask the question, where is the Federation on the political compass? Just as a refresher, the top of the compass represents authoritarian governments, the bottom represents libertarian. The right and left are the economic spectrum, with the right representing free market capitalist economies and the left a socialist, communist, or planned economy. We'll first look about how their economy and political system came about. So basically in Star Trek, the idea is that the world was decimated in the 21st century after the Third World War. A pig farmer from Montana then created a rocket ship called the Phoenix that could travel faster than the speed of light, warp drive. The Vulcans, an alien race, detected the first flight of this ship and made first contact with Earth, sharing with humans some of their technology. The introduction of such advanced technology meant that citizens of Earth and later the Federation no longer needed to barter or exchange for goods and services. They could just be given free stuff. In thinking about the economy of Star Trek's 24th century, a lot of people will think of this line from Picard.
Money doesn't exist in the 24th century.
No money? You mean you don't get paid?
The acquisition of wealth is no longer the driving force in our lives. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity.
We see another clue about the economic system of the Federation in this pro-capitalist rant from Quark in Deep Space Nine, complaining about social programs on his home planet of Ferenginar.
The government needed revenues to fund the new social programs. Wage subsidies for the poor, retirement benefits for the aged, health care for...
Stop. The first thing I'm going to do is eliminate these so-called reforms before Ferenginar ends up looking like a federation.
Yep, all those social programs make him feel like his planet is part of the Federation, suggesting the Federation really is a socialist or even communist society where the government takes care of citizens' every need and money indeed doesn't exist. But it's not as simple as that, because there are references to Federation or Starfleet crew members paying for things with some kind of money in Star Trek. Just take a look at the first episode of The Next Generation, Encounter at Farpoint.
I'll take the entire bolt. Send it to our starship when it arrives. Charged to Dr. Crusher.
So it's being charged to her account. And how will she pay for that, I wonder? Probably with Federation credits, a kind of money the Federation used to trade with other species and for individuals to buy luxury items that went beyond what the nanny state of the Federation provided. So they had a kind of cryptocurrency. I wonder how much GPU power I need to mine Federation credits. I hope they're not anything like... Moving on, we see an earlier reference to credits in the original series when Uhura acquired a tribble at Space Station K7.
Are you selling?
That's what we're trying to decide right now.
My friend, 10 credits apiece is a very reasonable price. Now you can see for yourself how much the lovely little lady appreciates the finer things.
1 credit apiece.
There was also a reference to Benjamin Sisko using transporter credits to transport himself to his hometown of New Orleans. In Voyager, the crew exchanged holodeck and replicator credits as a form of currency, and the Federation itself was willing to pay 1.5 million credits for control of a wormhole in the Next Generation episode, The Price. This was all in contrast to the view of Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry. Ronald D. Moore, who worked as a scriptwriter and producer on many Star Trek series, said this: "By the time I joined The Next Generation, Gene had decreed that money most emphatically did not exist in the Federation, nor did credits, and that was that." But this rule has been broken in so many episodes that we are going to say that credits exist. It's probably just a fact that for certain storylines to work, you do need some kind of currency to exchange for goods or services, or to acquire through greed in the story. but they probably weren't used on a daily basis. To me, it sounds more like the kind of idea of universal basic income that's been thrown around in the West recently, where the government provides all your basic needs, but you can still earn money to spend on extra stuff. Star Trek just takes this to an extreme, since technology makes it easy for the Federation to provide almost everything you could ever want. For those that do want extra, Federation credits provide a means to settle bills within a limited scope, and people can still use the money of other species.
As soon as I find out what's so special about your ship, I'm gonna sell it to the Klingons. Do you hear me, Captain?
Yet other non-Federation species did still use money. The monetary unit of the Klingon Empire is said to be the Darsek, and the Ferengis of course used gold-pressed latinum. And they were pretty stingy with it when settling debts.
How could I forget that you didn't have enough latinum to cover my winnings?
I thought I explained that my brother misplaced the key to the safe. Besides, those vouchers I gave you were every bit as good as latinum.
You can spend latinum almost anywhere. Those vouchers are only good at your bar.
There doesn't seem to be any rule prohibiting Federation citizens from acquiring wealth in other species' currencies. But despite this, the Federation remained pretty left-wing, with the government basically owning all industries and everyone working for the state. Not for money, but to better themselves. Sounds pretty communist or collectivist to me. So I would say they were pretty much as left-wing as you can get. Now let's look at the Authoritarian versus Libertarian Axis. The Federation can be described as an interstellar federal republic. It has 150 member worlds covering an 8,000 light-year expanse. And planets join the Federation willingly, unlike other star empires that subjugate lesser species or even assimilate them. These potential member worlds had to meet strict requirements, kind of like countries joining the European Union. Except the requirements were that they had to have the capability of faster-than-light travel and had to have global governments. I guess InfoWars didn't accomplish their mission on those worlds.
The globalists are crapping themselves!
The Federation government has 3 branches: the executive branch, the legislature, and the courts. Wait a minute. They basically just copied that from the United States, an ancient neo-colonial empire that occupied much of the northwestern hemisphere of the Earth in the 20th and 21st centuries. Anyway, the Federation had 2 important legal documents, the Charter and the Constitution, and they were strong on human rights.
We have rule of law in this Federation. You cannot simply seize people and experiment with them to prove your pet theories.
Thank you.
And they were pro-choice.
It is the ruling of this court that Lieutenant Commander Data has the freedom to choose.
By pro-choice, we don't mean anything to do with abortion. They defunded Planned Parenthood centuries ago. Money doesn't exist, remember? Basically, they supported citizens' rights to choose their own destiny, their own job, or in Data's case, the right to choose whether he was disassembled and experimented on or not. Now let's look at the military. The Federation had Starfleet, who for many years they insisted wasn't a military. It was a family-friendly space exploration club that just happened to face deadly enemies and regularly kill aliens. Humanity first! With the increased threat of the Dominion and the Borg, the Federation did eventually start building vessels that were more like warships, such as the Defiant class, Akira class, and Prometheus class. These ships all featured ablative armor, multiple weapon systems, and even tactical hull separation systems known as multi-vector attack mode, which gave the Prometheus class the ability to take on Romulan warbirds and win. But they were never used to subjugate other species or attack innocent alien races. The Federation did have the mysterious Section 31, who were kind of like the CIA or the Nazi SS or something, I don't know, they had a thing for black leather. Section 31 were into some pretty sketchy stuff like assassinations, building secret warships, and biological warfare. But it seems Section 31's operations didn't overshadow the main peaceful mission of the Federation in most cases. So in terms of authoritarian versus libertarian, I would put the Federation pretty much in the middle, just a little bit into the authoritarian side of the Axis, since they did actually have an organized government and military-ish organization, but the Federation were no means run by dictators. They guaranteed certain rights and liberties to their citizens.
The first time any man's freedom is trodden on, we're all damaged.
With an independent court system, secured the peace but didn't build superweapons to attack other peaceful species, and they even made Romulan ale legal again after an embargo of several decades.
Are you alright?
Romulan ale should be illegal.
Gene Roddenberry had an optimistic view of the future, in which after almost destroying itself and then being given a second chance and a load of new advanced technology, a humbled mankind...
We like to say people kind, not necessarily mankind, because it's more inclusive.
No, we don't. A humbled mankind kind of enlightened. I guess you could say they were woke. They embraced a kind of extreme socialism voluntarily, without the usual authoritarian regime that forces it on the populace in communist countries. In the Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx had said, "The communists openly declare that their ends can be attained only by the forcible overthrow of all existing social conditions." Well, in Star Trek, there was nothing to forcibly overthrow. The society had already been destroyed by the Third World War and was able to naturally recreate itself without the need for what Marx described as revolutionary terror. Thus, those who equate the Federation with communism are wrong. The use of force was a key part of the Communist Manifesto, and Marx also did not advocate a system of checks and balances like the United States enjoys today to keep tyrants and dictators from gaining power. The Federation too had such a system, with democracy, an independent judiciary, and presidents that served limited terms. Thus, the Federation was much more like state socialism or democratic socialism taken to extremes. Think Bernie Sanders on steroids. But I don't think there's anything on Earth that really could compare to the Federation, perhaps the UN or the EU politically, but certainly not economically. And in the show they never mention that their political and economic system is based off of any theory from the past, such as writings of Marx or the government of the United States. In my understanding, such an economic system could only take place under two conditions, both of which we see in Star Trek. One is advanced technology providing abundance for the whole of mankind with very little work, and two is a rise in the level of morality across the entire society. Star Trek has always been very strong on the issue of morality.
Superior morality. A superior moral code. That the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Until the Star Trek Discovery series, which is pretty murky in terms of morals. Okay guys, leave your comments below about what you think about this. Get ready for a political flame war down there. This is a pretty big topic. Anyway guys, please give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.